T Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper.
Shall we just start right off the bat with a Las Vegas update?
Are we still talking Vegas, right?
We are.
We're talking about Vegas.
Yes. You're coming to Vegas, right? Star Trek Las Vegas may take place every August, but on this show...
This is where we hang out the rest of the year.
Exactly.
The crew has been fatigued now from so many months in space, and they need to take a break. The landing party has been down to check out the terrain while the crew gets ready to play. They say there's only plant life living on this lovely rock, but a rodent appears wearing a vest.
Joel Launcher, citizens, welcome to another What's Your Story for the G&T show. This is Gettysburg 7. To my right, your left today, sitting here in her Rocky Balboa gear with the ring attire from Rocky 4. From Rocky 4, it's Terry Lynn.
Rocky 4?
Rocky 4 with Drago.
So I'm supposed to be Drago? Or am I Rocky? Oh, okay, I'm Rocky. Ding, ding. He would have gone down.
I'm Drago. And Drago is being played by...
I will crush you.
I love Sundays at the con. This is awesome. This is Terry Lynn, and we actually have two wonderful guests with us today, both Al and Amy Rivera. Al, as many of you know, is the lead designer at Cryptic Studios for Star Trek Online, and Amy is his lovely, beautiful wife. And we are here to talk, we're not here to talk about the game. We are talking to the two of you in our personal Trek project. And our personal Trek project is, as many of our listeners know, is a new project that we've put together, oddly enough, simultaneously with roddenberry.com, where we are kind of putting together an archive and gathering the stories about the people who are involved with Star Trek as well as the people who just love Star Trek, about how they became Star Trek fans. So Al, start off. You and Amy have a wonderful story, but two individuals who both love Star Trek came together. Tell us a little bit about your story first. How did Star Trek get into your life first?
So, when I was growing up, my sister Sonia, she's much older than me, from my mom's previous husband. So she was about 16 years old. She is about 16 years older than me, and so she kind of grew up as a second mom to me. And she was really into sci-fi and into horror a lot. And so I would go to her house all the time. So she would take me, well, before she had a house, she would take me to drive-ins all the time, right? And to go to drive-ins and watch scary movies. I remember when The Blue Claw and The Invisible Man and just The Girl Down the Lane, and Carrie and these other really scary drive-in movies. But we'd also go home and watch sci-fi, and we'd watch Battlestar Galactica, and we'd watch Twilight Zone. But I grew up on TOS, watching the original series with her. It wasn't when it was airing, because it was in the 70s at the time. But we watched the reruns, and so that was my first exposure to Trek, and I from what I can recall, probably watched them all. I remember my sister giving me it's not a graphic novel, it was a paperback, but it was a picture paperback, right? So it's thick like a regular, like this, but it was a Star Trek one, but it was all pictures like a comic. Yeah, and so and it was a piece of the action, the story of the piece of the action. So it had all this. It just had all the stills from the episode with all the dialogue, and I read it 40 times, right? So I grew up with that, and then as I got older, when TNG came out, then I just started watching that with my sister, and that was it. And so then I was hooked at that point, right? I was just always a Star Trek fan from the beginning, and then when I worked at Cryptic, I was working on the Marvel project at the time, and then Perpetual had the Star Trek license, and the lead designer of the project was someone who used to work for me at Cryptic, and I was so jealous because he didn't even like Star Trek, right? And I was like, oh my god, why is he working on that? And
it's so wrong.
It's so wrong. And then we got the project, and the CEO Jack Emmert asked me, hey, do you want to be the lead designer of Star Trek Online? And I said, yeah, because sure, yeah, that was great. It was amazing. It was fantastic. So that was just a huge opportunity. So yeah, so I've been from the very beginning. It really is my sister who just really got in. So I have really fond memories, and so this day, I love watching late at night. Like every Friday night, Amy and I, we watch a cheesy movie at the end. A ritual, and just sit on the couch or in the bed and watch like Gamera or
Crab Monsters.
Yeah, just some other cheesy movie.
So are you guys fans of the sci-fi cheesy Sharknado, Gatoroid?
Well,
I'll watch
those
those.
are much.
I'll
We
watch
like the
those.
earlier,
I
like the
the old,
50s.
yeah.
and
I like kind of the
So
older
you
stuff.
would understand when I say Day of the Triffids.
Yes.
You would understand what that is?
Day of the Triffids?
Day of the Triffids.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh,
no,
I have a new one for you.
Okay.
Yay!
It's
'Cause that's my favorite.
It's basically giant asparagus.
Oh, I know you
Freaking
heard about this one. Yeah.
It's freaking
Yes,
awesome.
yeah.
That's what it is.
We just watched. What did we just watch last? We just watched something.
80s.
It was an 80s one. It was just like Slither, but it was like the one that came before Slither. It was just like where they go to their mouth, turn them into little things, little slugs. Slugs. It's called slugs. It was called
slugs.
And it was like
Yeah.
it's from the
Are
70s.
you guys fans of Tremors?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely love
That's a
Tremors.
great
Yeah,
movie.
that was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, very fun. So, you two share it together. Now, Amy, did Trek come into your life before you met?
Yeah,
Al?
very much so. So my mom she has passed away, but she was a huge Trek fan, and so she would always have Star Trek on whenever she could. She worked a lot, but whenever she was at home, she would have Star Trek online or Star Trek
on.
She said Star Trek on. She was already playing, first time. So yeah, she would have the original series on when I was younger, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? But then eventually I started to like it, and then when the next generation came out, I was still in high school.
Oh,
And
so it was perfect
but
timing.
my mom had a huge crush on Riker, and she just could not get over Riker. I know it wasn't it's not my type of thing either. But but
Terry loves Riker.
oh, well he's all yours, baby.
I'll take it.
But no, so my mom would watch it, and it was a very bonding experience with us, and it was so Trek was a family thing, and she was also into sci-fi, and we would watch cheesy movies as well, and
Does it surprise either one of you so much? Thinking about this is that you were brought to Trek by your sister and you were brought to Trek by your mom.
Yeah.
That it really is. We're finding more and more that it's not the fathers who brought the kids to the sci-fi, that it's the mothers and the other female
Fascinating.
influences.
I hadn't thought about that. Yes,
Yeah.
but that is very much. That's a really astute observation. That's pretty accurate. Yeah. My sister's husband is not really a Trekkie. I mean, he
Same
kind of
with my
does. He kind of
stepdad.
does
Yeah.
because of my sister, his wife. Yeah, it's cool, but he doesn't really. He engages and everything. He's more into football and that's just.
We're finding out more and more by doing these stories that I'm surprised by the number of people who say they were brought in by a female family member.
Yeah.
That is
That
fabulous
it
to
really
hear,
is.
because
It
I
is.
always thought my mom was, nobody else in my family, really besides my mom and I, really liked the Star Trek. And whenever I would say, yeah, my mom's a huge Star Trek fan, like, what?
So what happened when the two of you met and you found out that you both liked Trek?
Well, we met
We
at.
have an interesting story.
Yeah, we
about
met at
how
Sega. We met at Sega. That's where we're
were
both our
working.
first game industry in the
Yeah.
game industry. So we're working at
both
Sega,
working
Sega Soft technically, and so we
I was working on Sega Online.
what's that? Yeah.
I was
Working on
Sega Online.
Yeah, it's the same company, all in the same building and
Yeah,
everything.
but-
And at some point we
We were working together for a year
Yeah.
before we even met each other.
Yeah, we actually went to the
And
same party one time.
We went to the same party one time, and I said, yeah, I went to Guillermo's party. And he said, no. Al says, no, wait, where'd you sit? I said, by Guillermo. And Al says, no, wait, I sit next to Guillermo.
So we're both on the opposite
Yeah, we're
sides
both
of
on the
Guillermo.
opposite side of Guillermo, and we never even knew. But the company started downsizing, and so they put us
Our desks next
desks next
together.
together. And I'm a systems administrator. I'm there. I'm working late, and Al's. We're both working late, and we're cubes next to each other. And
So we started watching
working.
Record of Lodoss War. I had
Yes,
to.
we- yeah.
Do you remember that? It's an anime series.
We started watching
Record of
anime
Lodoss. It's
together.
think of like anime Lord of the Rings, basically, right? So we started watching Record of Lodoss War. I had the VHSs in my office, and so late
And
at night.
I had some too.
Oh, and you had some?
Yeah.
And so we just watched the TV late at night and watched an episode of Record of Lodoss War.
And then we watched Clerks in the conference room.
Right.
We took over the conference room and watched Clerks because Al had never seen Clerks before.
So then this is all before we started dating, right? We were just kind of getting to know each other, and then when we first were dating, right? So the first actually I think it was the day that we. I think it was the day that we first kissed. It was my birthday.
Aww.
And she came over, and I had a little party.
I gave him chocolate, and he's like, "How'd you know I like chocolate so much?"
And we went to Blockbuster, and we picked up Free Enterprise. And that was the first movie we watched together.
You hear that, Robert?
And so,
Free Enterprise.
and that was.
What would Kirk do?
So that was great. So then while we were first dating, she'd come over to my apartment, and like was it Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember what it is. Next Generation would come on.
It was constantly on. We were
And so we'd watch it. We'd watch like a ritual. Oh, it's Wednesday night.
And then Voyager.
And then Voyager started coming on. It was about the time
Watch
Voyager was new. So
Voyager.
TNG was in syndication. Voyager was new or something. And so we watched that every day, every week together. So it's like some of the first stuff that we watched together.
The only thing I have to say though is that I had not watched Deep Space Nine, and so Al turned me on to Deep Space Nine because I was never had the bandwidth to just sit down and watch it, and was a one show Next Generation type of gal. But once I watched the whole series, it is by far my favorite.
Excellent.
By far my favorite of all of the
Now, both of you, we have what we call, you've kind of gone through it before, Al, but we're putting Amy on the spot now. We kind of have what we call our James Lipton questions. If you've ever seen Inside the Actor's Studio, James Lipton has like a set group of questions that he asks all of his guests. We have tweaked questions that we put together.
Okay, well, the amygdala is in the base of the brain. Okay, I'm ready.
Now, you both get to answer these all over again. So if there's new ones or you change
I
your
see
answer,
a butterfly.
you're allowed.
I don't know what.
The first question is, you're flying, you are a commander in the Federation. You're a Starfleet commander.
You've never asked me these questions.
Oh, I haven't?
No.
Oh, we haven't.
I thought we asked you on the show.
It's under Dropbox. Okay, it's under Gettysburg 2. Awesome.
There's not much room left in here.
Oh,
It's
that's
just-
okay.
it's
These
some-
are fun.
Some things
These are
have to
fun.
eject, and then
These
you
are
just
fluffy
after
and
this.
fun.
Yeah.
These are fluffy and fun. You're flying, and you're commanding a ship in Starfleet. What's the name of your ship? The USS
Ninja.
I like it.
That's my nickname is the Ninja. So,
I
well,
like
my maiden name is the Ninga, and so
People mispronounce it
said
all the time.
they would say Ninja, and so then it just became Ninja. So anyway, Or my other ship that I like to call is Jax. So that would be
I think it's a better character name.
Jax.
Yeah. What's up,
Jack.
British? I thought that's your trill name.
Yeah, Jax. Yeah.
I like it. What about you, Al?
The Yosemite.
The Yosemite.
The Yosemite. The USS Yosemite.
Like, wow, I thought I was married to you.
What did you expect me to say? Like
the crab monster.
The crab
2001.
No, I didn't put camp in my Star Trek. No way.
Oh, yes, you're right.
I don't like camp in my Star Trek. I'm always
You're right.
constantly trying to stop people in the studio, putting campy stuff and silly stuff in my Star Trek.
I have one ship. One ship with a campy name.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's a Galaxy X. It's Riker's joystick. Third nacelle. You're just
That's right.
That's the only one I'm
the one
allowed.
that gets the reputation, right? I know.
Everything else is dead serious. So I
Everybody
understand
knows
where Al's
everybody.
coming from.
If you could be other than human,
any canon Trek species?
Oh, you did ask me this one.
Yeah,
I remember.
what would it be?
Oh, that's torn because I really like the Andorians, but I like Vulcans as well. So that would be tricky. Can I be a half-breed?
Yes, you can. Why not?
Vulcan Andorian?
Vulcan Andorians do that, though.
Talk about being bipolar.
The 4 genders in the
Not even that. Just think about the hidden rage, unhidden
The ears
rage.
and the antenna.
That'd be
Skin
freaking
would
awesome.
be like a lime green because of the green and the blue.
That's all right.
It'd be pretty.
Because I would love to have. You know,
Andorians have
that's-
three sexes. There's 3 genders.
Sweet.
Four genders.
Well,
Two
then
males.
hell yeah.
Two males,
Two males, 2 female. Yeah.
Bonus. I was just thinking, they're telepathic. They.
No, the Andorians.
The Andorians.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Here's one for you.
So
You asked me that one.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I
And you
remember that.
answered.
I answered Trill.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Trill.
I answered Trill. 'cause-
But we asked
That
if it
would
was
be good.
it was combined trill or would you just?
No, I said combined
You
Trill
did,
because
you wanted the best.
that serenity and that wisdom that comes with all of that.
that's a good answer.
Like my daily life.
Sure.
That was a roll eye over the over. You couldn't see it, but it was there.
Do you have a favorite adjective? If so, do you overuse it? And is there an adjective you loathe?
I say righteous a lot.
Really? She does say righteous a lot.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah,
I always
I say
pick one up and
righteous.
then I say it's right.
Yeah, I cycle through. I like to cycle through. One that I'm tired of,
Just loathe, yeah.
or just loathe. Literally.
Oh, you took mine. I took mine. That is my huge pet peeve.
Yes, that's a big pet peeve.
Counts.
Like you could literally kill someone.
Like-
Yes.
Oh no,
Using
using with that, you
Yeah.
might be able to.
Last night.
No, growing up, I was watching wrestling, and when Gorilla Monsoon said they're literally hanging from the no, they're not.
No.
They're not hanging from the rafters. I'm looking at the screen. There's nobody in the rafters.
It's like you want to get a diagram out and say, okay, this is what literally is. This is what literally is not.
I was
Can
literally,
your brain handle that?
I was literally asleep for 400 hours yesterday. No, that's a coma.
Yes.
You were not in a coma.
Literally knocked my socks off.
And one day, 24 hours.
Literally blew my mind.
Yeah. There were literally a million firemen at that fire. No, there weren't. There were not a million.
And I heard that Webster is putting it in the dictionary at this point because it's been so culturally used as an alternative definition of the word literally.
Oh, that makes me
Is that a
sad.
joke? Tell me that's a cool
It is
joke.
not a cruel joke.
Oh, that is so sad.
I think you probably look it up on dictionary.com or websters.com. That is just a sad state of things. I don't want to live here anymore.
Yeah, well, I think both Al
I don't
and
want to be on this planet
I think
anymore.
both Al and I have I don't know what you want to call it, but we have a real peeve about grammar and just people in general who don't or not they don't seem very intelligent. Not that they're dumb, but they're just kind of whimsical and out in the air. And hey, man, what kind of drugs are you taking? Come back.
Now, do either one of you consider yourselves readers? Do you get the opportunity to read books?
I do.
They're both illiterate.
No, but there's time. These are busy people, Nick. Do you have the time to read books? And if you do, is there a particular author that you never miss buying one of their books?
Well,
I'm really big on Orson Scott Card.
I really do like Orson Scott Card, and I have a ton of his books. Growing up, I read so much growing up. Alice in Wonderland, The Secret Garden. I can't just think of all of them, but as I've gotten older, there's been some sci-fi that I read, but I like to read nonfiction. I like to read history. Here, I have Audible account, and so like I'll get something out of this history of the Civil War, or history of the world. I also like to read philosophy, Buddhism.
I'm going to pimp another podcast. If you like history, there's one called Revolutions.
Yeah.
And it started, originally the guy did the history of the Roman Empire from the myth of Romulus and Remus and the whole thing up through the whole history of the
real Romulus and Remus, not the Star Trek Romulus and Remus.
Up through the founding.
Epping tabulous.
Then he did the English Civil War, that whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Now he's done the American Revolution, and his next will be the French. But it's like 15-minute segments, and he's got a totally dry sense of humor, so like you'll laugh out loud, and he'll say things like, so the king was in Parliament where no king had ever been, and being ignored because he had no business being there in the first place, and he walked out in a huff, and no one cared. He'll say things like that, so it's so much fun.
I have to check.
Revolutions.
I'll have to check that out.
What about you, Al? Is there a particular author's books you really just can't live without?
No, I really don't have any particular affinity for any particular authors.
Except for, of course, Dayton Ward, Kevin Dilmore.
No, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll show my
the Zen of Zombie.
I'll put myself vulnerable out there for a little bit. I actually those authors, Czech novel authors, I only started learning them through your show. Right? I've read, especially when I first started working on Star Trek Online, I read a bunch of Star Trek Online novels for a while. I honestly didn't pay attention to who was writing them.
Right.
We got a lot of books from CBS, and I picked, and people started sending me books, and so I read some, including Shatner's. So, but
Neil Gaiman. Have you read Neil Gaiman?
No.
Like American Gods and Good Omens. And what's the last one I read? Neverwhere.
All right, I've got too many on the plate now in the queue on the Audible.
Yeah.
Almost done.
If you were given the chance to either write or do a game, an open-ended series on one Trek character, who would it be?
An open-ended series on one Trek character.
Oh, that's a good question.
Let me see.
Please hold. The answer is important to us. We're trying to think.
Wow.
Well, I guess it would probably have to be the Dax, because that's just so you can go
with Ezri Dax.
Yeah, no, just the Dax and the symbiote.
Wow, great answer from the very beginning.
Because you could just keep going with that.
I'll start from Dax 1.
Yeah, and you could just keep on
cool.
going. Yeah,
I like that.
Top that one, Al.
Oh wow, that's a really good answer. Does Dax have a sister?
You married Jackie.
I'll probably have to say I'm gonna say O'Brien. I'm gonna say O'Brien because O'Brien's got some history that we don't know about because he's crusty, especially through the Kardashian War. So I would love to see his accounts of what all the way up to that point where he killed that Kardashian in the underwear, right? And all the shit that he went through, right? Through like his
Al loves it.
Yeah, I love O'Brien's character. How he's how he's not even the same O'Brien because of the time warp thing, and that his body, he was cloned as a robot, and so just looking at it, like those are some of my favorite DS9s to see what happened to O'Brien. So just kind of the history of O'Brien, how he became enlisted, right, and why he's not an officer, and how he met Keiko, and
I love it.
And his story with who was his name before he joined the Enterprise? The guy, the captain who came who.
Jellicoe?
No, the other one that O'Brien served for. Remember the one that went nuts?
And then they started drinking because he was trying to get the Kardashians in trouble. He was trying to prove
his name, but that was a good captain too.
Right. So O'Brien's story through all that
stuff. He was right.
Yeah, he was right. The Kardashians were
They were nasty.
For being nasty. So
That actor is the same guy that played the warden in Shawshank Redemption and the whole. Yeah, he's a really good actor.
Well, we have
So Ryan's got some stories.
one final big question. Go for it.
One thing that I think is kind of another kind of love story type of thing between us, which is everybody get ready to gag. Al most relates to, I think, O'Brien, as in he's an engineer, he works really hard, he's just like, another thing is broken, and I'm at the con again, and also I love botany. I'm applying to be a master gardener. I'm going to college for that.
You can call me Miles. I'll go with Miles.
So that's a.
So we're gonna call you Miles and Keiko from now on. I love this.
I bought and built her a little greenhouse.
He did.
As long as you don't go through the torturous episodes
No, I don't.
that he did through.
And I'm not having any children.
I don't know.
Oh, it's the dude!
The dude!
Oh, he's even got the carton of milk.
But he's got the Star Trek
He's a Star Trek
dude in
bro.
the Star Trek TOS room.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
How many people do you think are getting that?
Like three.
The dude in the Star Trek room?
I would hope everybody would know the El Dude Arena.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
He abides. He totally abides.
Totally abides. The last big question is, and you may have gotten this one before, Al, but we know Amy has not. You are approached by CBS.
Okay.
You have been given the, not just honor, but the duty to create duty. I said duty. And I meant it.
Sunday at the con.
You've been tasked with writing a new Star Trek story, but part of that task is you must kill off a major canon character in Star Trek, and it will stick. There's no bringing this character back. But you get to choose who it is. Who do you choose?
Man, this is where I have to decide, do I want to say something that's...
Do you want to do it catty because you hate the character?
Exactly.
Do you want to be dramatic because you love the character?
Will this actor hear this? And because there's some that I've met that the one that could die, let's see, they would never be able to come back again. That would be really tragic.
You're a writer.
And you're a writer.
It was awesome.
Christine. She dogged you?
Yeah.
Oh, and
She didn't even hesitate.
She knew right away.
She knew right away who she wanted to kill.
Just to her.
Well, there's the ones that I would want to kill are already dead, to be honest. Oh man, this is really stumping me.
We get this from the writers too, so don't. Although some of them, off the top of their head, they've got the story written.
They know.
They just wish that they could get the.
They're actually kind of frightening. They already had the story written. It was like, oh yeah, I thought about this real well.
They know who would die.
Yeah.
Damn. Who would I kill off, and how would it be?
Al.
So,
I'm gonna think about it. Yeah, because I can't.
If you play Star Trek Online, you already know I killed Alexander. So.
I liked Alexander.
I know, but you know the point. You know why it was so poignant? It was about.
That's what I was trying to think about.
If you watch this, if you're familiar with the story, Alexander in TNG comes back in time and tries to train his younger self to be a warrior, and Worf says, "Who are you?" And you're not from Duras, or you're not from wherever it is he said he was from. He says, "That's me. I'm Alexander. I saw you die in the Great Hall, and I couldn't do anything because I was a wimp. I wasn't a great warrior. So we have to make Alexander a warrior. We have to make me be a warrior so I can protect you." And so we say that that worked. He becomes a warrior and he protects his father, but in doing so, he's the one that gets killed in the Great Hall during that unit. So
talk about a straight road to Stovacor.
Yeah, I mean that was like kind of the universe balanced itself out, and that was, and so we thought that was really, really appropriate that we did that there. Michael Dorn did not like that we did that.
Right.
Yeah, he was not happy. He was very unhappy with that. But I won't consider him a major character.
Right.
The major character I would kill would be Riker.
Oh,
I would kill Riker in a very heroic way, and I would think I think we could get, because of the history between him and Deanna, that her grief would be so powerful in the stories to come, right? And and just because I want to see what we would do with her character. He would obviously do something very heroic, right? And something very tragic, and to save her or whoever, the crew, and then what she's going to go through after that.
See, I actually think Riker dying to save a crewman we don't even know
Sure.
would make it even more heroic.
But I think it's important for it to be heroic.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Heroically, because we would kind of expect it for another characters we know and love, but one of those extras we always saw in the background, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Ensign Torek.
Can you imagine him? Oh, in the book, there's a character in the books who I'm extraordinarily fond of.
He's like Geordi's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Torvig.
No, not Torvig, but
we totally see it, Torvig. But, oh well.
All right, so I think a couple are that one that's funny is Scotty is the only red shirt who hasn't died. So
Scotty.
Uhura.
Well, you know, she's a dress. But I think
have any red dresses ever died? I don't know.
But I think Wesley, if Wesley would die, that would be. Shut up, Wesley.
I don't think so. How do you kill a traveler?
Shut up, Wesley.
It's Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley. All right. Well, that was our last question, and we can't thank you both enough for coming and sharing your story with us.
This weekend.
And for everything. It's just been a blast, and congratulations on another successful Star Trek Con.
Yes.
It was great.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was. They don't get easier.
No.
They seem to be getting harder. That was.
And I'm going to wait for the other interview because there's some things I want to point out.
We're going to be talking Trek.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Yeah. I actually wanted to throw in. I'm really surprised you're surprised that I chose the USS Yosemite. How much I love Yosemite, and it's a really, I think it's a really poignant name for a big cruiser.
Yosemite is our thing. We vacation there a lot. So.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like it.
I like it too. That's great.
Well, thanks again. Amy and Al Rivera, thank you for telling us your story.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us tell it.
Joe Lontrue, citizens. Joe Lontrue.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5-Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
G&T Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.
Some dude walks out, proceeds to explain what it's all about. I sure want to leave. I think you'd agree, but we cannot leave till we find out what it's all about. It's all make-believe, nothing is permanent down here. It's just an amusement park. Bones is now alive, so it's okay for him to say, I'm a doctor, not a shish kebab. Apparently it's okay if we trust an unknown race who can read any one of our thoughts. So be careful what you wish for in this land of dreams come true, 'cause you just might get what you want.